Jacqueline Matter. It is 4 a.m. on this Monday, August 10th. Thanks for starting your morning with us right here on Fox 5 and streaming on Fox Local. Here's what's happening today. Get ready for another hot and humid week. The D.C. region could also see thunderstorms and rain showers several days this week. Our Taylor Grenda tracking your forecast straight ahead. And more frustration coming to your morning commute. Lane closures will begin today along parts of the GW Parkway. We're live with what drivers need to know. Plus details on the strict new law taking aim at the cannabis market in the Commonwealth. How local business owners are planning to fight back. Your news at 4 starts right now. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here at 4 a.m. on Fox 5. Glad to have you here with us. Hopefully you had a nice weekend across the region this past weekend. Yesterday I was out at the farmers market already by 9 a.m. People were just sweltering hot out there. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, I know it was. It was nice to get a break from the storms and the severe weather, but yeah, it was hot out there. Today will be hot again. Will be very humid. We'll see the chance for the return of some storms again today. So don't let that cut you off guard, especially towards later periods of the afternoon through this evening. Will be under that severe weather risk. Ahead of that, it's going to be very hot and humid, and that will last for several days this week. So I'll have a full breakdown of that 7-day when we'll get some relief insight coming up. Jacqueline?
Okay, Taylor, we'll talk to you then. Meantime, a heads up for commuters this morning. Starting today, parts of the northbound lanes of the GW Parkway will shut down for several hours each day for the next 3 weeks. Our Maureen Ume live this morning on the road with what drivers need to know. Maureen, break this one down for us.
All right, so the closures don't start until 9:30 this morning, so that is some bit of a good news. But let me flip there right now, and you can see this is the GW Parkway, the area that's going to be shut down. Later today, if you're heading northbound, you'll have to get off and take a detour. So the National Park Service is closing all northbound lanes between Spout Run Parkway and Route 123. The closure will be in place Mondays through Thursdays from 9:30 in the morning until 2:30 in the afternoon. This is going to be through September 1st. Crews will be inspecting trees along the parkway, pruning branches and removing trees when necessary. Now, during the work, northbound drivers will have to exit at Spout Run Parkway, follow the posted detour, and then re-enter the parkway at Route 123. So it's going to be a little tricky, but keep that in mind. Southbound lanes will remain open. So again, no closure during the morning or evening rush. That'll be good because, as you know, traffic can get very backed up here on the GW Parkway, so no closure there. But if you're using this stretch of the parkway during the middle of the day, plan on that detour and some extra time here on the GW Parkway. One question that we were asking my photographer Joseph and I, wondering why the work wasn't done while the parkway was shut down for the repairs that were extensive. You'll recall for many, many years they were doing work here, lots of orange barrels and cones up for quite some time. So we'll have to get some answers to why the work wasn't done then. Again, they're pruning trees and removing dead trees and making things generally safer. But that's what we understand will be happening. Traffic should not be as impacted since it's going to be in the middle of the day, 9:30 to 2:30 in the afternoon. But if there are affected traffic areas, we'll be sure to pass that along to you. But again, you're looking at the area that should be shut down. Now, right now, everything's running smoothly. We'll, of course, continue to update it as the morning goes on, showing you what's happening here on the GW Parkway and bring you those reports as we get them. But again, remember, this closure is happening until September 1st. It's going to be for a couple hours a day, 9:30 to 2:30, northbound lanes of the GW Parkway between Spout Run and 123. We'll, of course, keep you updated and bring you the latest as we get it. Back to you in the meantime.
All right, Maureen, thank you. Meantime, D.C. police are searching for 3 suspects after a woman was shot and killed in southeast D.C. This happened early yesterday morning right near K Street. Police say the suspects they are looking for are in a silver sedan, but we do not know the make or the model or year. Just hours before this shooting, a man was shot less than 2 miles away. He was taken to a hospital and is expected to survive. Police do not believe that the shootings are related. Fauquier County officials searching for a suspect tied to a deadly shooting at a party. Deputies responding around 9:30 on Saturday night to the property on Bowery Lane in Catlett, Virginia. Officers say they saw a fight and heard a gunshot, then found a man with a gunshot wound who later died at the scene. The D.C. National Guard has resumed operations at Capitol Guardian Youth Challenge Academy in Laurel. It comes after dozens of teen cadets were sickened there last month. Several teens were taken to a hospital for symptoms including dizziness, nausea, and headaches. But an independent investigation found no evidence of carbon monoxide poisoning. The investigation also found no evidence of bacteria in the academy's water system. While an exact cause for the illness remains unclear, officials say foodborne illness and heat stress could be possibilities. All right, 4:05 this morning. Let's get you outside, out towards the White House this morning. And already we are feeling the heat out there as you take a look at the lower temperatures on the lower left-hand corner there, Taylor. Many folks waking up in the upper 70s, some in the 80s too this morning.
I know it's going to be a hot stretch of weather for most of this week. We'll have the high humidity around, and eventually we'll talk about the chance for storms returning, especially today. So here's where we broke down with the temperatures yesterday. We actually reached into the 90s for pretty much everywhere. We'll be right at that threshold again for today. Kicking off on a very warm note early on today as well. We're in the mid to upper 70s for a majority of the area. So here's a live look at those temperature readings, some upper 60s north and west. Regardless, it's going to be a warm and humid start to the day. Live look at radar showing dry conditions. I do think a good part of the daytime will be dry, but towards the afternoon and into this evening, we'll see the return of the chance for some storms. So here's how today shapes up. We'll remain dry leading up until about 4 p.m. Then we'll bring back that thunderstorm risk. So, of course, we'll talk more about this. And also, again, that 7-day coming up. Jacqueline?
All right, Taylor, thank you. Taking a look at the roads this morning, some construction to tell you about on the outer loop. This is that project between the Clara Barton Parkway and GW Parkway. Traffic getting by in the left lane only. So right now you're seeing about 22 minutes as you are driving through that work zone. So keep that in mind if you are headed on the outer loop at this hour. Well, overseas, Iran issuing new demands around the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. In a statement broadcast by Iranian state media, Tehran says the strait will not open until the U.S. agrees to its terms. It says the United States must never threaten Iran again, must permanently end the war, and completely compensate Iran for war damage. Other demands include lifting sanctions and unconditionally releasing frozen assets.
They're hurting in a big way. They want this thing to be over. The question is whether their system is able to give the things that are necessary for us to be happy, for us to feel like we've gotten what we need out of this particular engagement. That is still to be determined, but I do think that we've made some progress over the last few days.
Now, there is some relief for drivers. AAA reporting the national average for a gallon of gas has dipped to $4.01. That is in line with the end of the summer travel season. Meantime, over the weekend, Ukraine and Russia exchanging more lethal drone strikes. It comes as both sides ramp up campaigns against the other's commerce and energy infrastructures. Vladimir Zelensky says that Ukraine has secured an agreement with the U.S. for monthly deliveries of its Patriot air defense missiles, though he cautioned that may not be enough, and he is hoping to secure licenses for Ukraine to manufacture its own weapons.
Right now, we're stuck dealing with paperwork. The process for some of these licenses is also taking a long time, and that's the truth.
Last week, the Senate overwhelmingly approved a punishing Russians sanctions package campaigned by the late Senator Lindsey Graham. It allows the president to impose tariffs on countries that continue to buy Russian oil, gas, and other exports. It also includes sanctions against Putin and other senior Russian political and military leaders. Well, Democrats in Michigan trying to unite behind Senate candidate Abdul El-Sayed as he prepares to face Republican Mike Rogers in less than 3 months. El-Sayed won a tense primary that exposed a deep split between moderate and progressive Democrats. High-profile figures like former President Obama now reaching out to help heal those divides. A centrist Democratic group launching a $15 million effort through 2028 to counter Democratic socialism, highlighting the party's divides. Meantime, progressives like Senator Bernie Sanders view Abdul El-Sayed's recent political victories as a long-awaited milestone.
In my view, Abdul's victory was one of the most extraordinary victories in modern political history. Now, I think what we are seeing all over this country, from coast to coast, is that working people are sick and tired of being the only major country on earth that does not guarantee health care to all people as a human right.
California Governor Gavin Newsom was in Michigan over the weekend rallying for Democrats. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez not ruling out a run for higher office in 2028. The New York Democrat says she is focused on winning the midterms and is currently running for re-election to Congress. But when pressed about a possible presidential run, AOC said that she has not ruled it out. She also said, quote, anything is possible when asking about a potential Senate run in 2028 when Chuck Schumer is up for re-election. The redistricting battle in Maryland heading to court following lawsuits filed by Republicans. It comes days after Democrats in the General Assembly passed a constitutional amendment to redraw its 8 congressional districts. On Fox 5's On the Hill over the weekend, Maryland's only Republican Congressman Andy Harris said the amendment violates state law and is a power grab. But Democratic Congressman Glenn Ivey says state lawmakers are responding to efforts in red states that are targeting Democratic seats.
It's like saying, well, there's crime everywhere, so we got to commit some crime, too. That's just baloney. Maryland prides itself as being a leader in the nation. And right now, they're a leader in hyper-partisan gerrymandering.
We're going to have to fight back on this. We got to fight fire with fire. We're still going to come out with fewer seats than the Republicans do. But I think we'll still be able to take control of the House.
The amendment does not redraw the map, but provides the state a clear legal path to redraw districts. If that amendment survives the challenges, Maryland voters will have a final say come November. Still ahead, plenty of deals for families preparing to send their students back to school, where you can score some tax-free shopping this week. Plus, details on a new law limiting hemp products in the Commonwealth, how that law is expected to impact businesses. Plus, Taylor keeping an eye on that forecast for us.
Yeah, the heat and humidity, it's going to continue for a good part of this week. We do have the chance for storms returning today as well. So we'll have a little breakdown of what to expect in that timeline coming up after the break.